Welcome back to another episode of the Nomads and Nimble Shadow podcast. Trading the high-stress life of first responders for a life of adventure on the road. This podcast is brought to you by Kendra, a retired police officer, and her husband Sean, a retired public safety officer. They have been on the road full-time in their Airstream since August 9th, 2025. Traveling with them is their service dog, Django Aloysius Delicious McJefferson, Ph.D. the 6th. Let's get this thing started.
Welcome everyone to episode
15
of Nomads and Nimbleshadow. Nimbleshadow is cuddled up. Oh, he's in the back of the trailer. He's giving us some space. And I'm here with my husband, Sean.
Hello and good evening.
And
welcome.
Yesterday we were talking about your most memorable, is it right? Your favorite, your most memorable?
Most memorable police story in my career. Many memorable. It's hard to pick one. But I know you have one in mind because we've talked about it a little bit. So tell me all about that.
Yeah, I've had some time to think about it, and I didn't want to pick one that's like super sad or super graphic or super traumatic, but I will be talking a little bit about sexual assault in this one. So if that's triggering for anyone, this would be a good time to stop. So this was in the early 2000s, maybe it was 2000 or 2001 at the latest. And I go to a call for service, and the woman at this apartment wants to report a sexual assault. So she said it's a really complicated story, and I hope that you believe me. And so I was already kind of on alert of like, yeah, this is not a good way to start it. So she had been dating a guy for a few months. She said things were going great, and then all of a sudden the relationship kind of took a turn, and their sex life wasn't great, and they had a big conversation about it, and this guy revealed that he really wasn't sexually satisfied unless he was watching his partner have sex with a stranger. So they have a whole conversation, and she really loves this guy. She's willing to do it for him. Okay. So they discuss the logistics. He says, I want you tomorrow at 5 p.m. I want you to go to Valco Mall and go inside the mall. And I think there was a fountain in there. Do you remember?
Very specific.
Yes. Do you remember the fountain in Valco Mall? Am I right about that?
I don't remember a fountain.
Anyway, so I think there was a fountain or something in the center of Valco Mall. She's supposed to go and look for a guy holding a rose, and then go to his car with him, have sex with him in the car. And this is the boyfriend talking. And he says, I'm going to be watching from nearby. It'll be a friend of mine. I'm going to be watching from nearby. And then afterwards, you and I are going to go off and have a passionate encounter. Okay. So she agrees to do all of this. She goes to Valco Mall. She finds the guy with the rose. They go out to the car. She actually gives him a blowjob. She doesn't have sex with him. And
great, now I gotta check the explicit box.
Sorry.
You could say mouth kisses.
Okay. I could say I won't do it. Shout out to Steve Donahue.
Jesus.
Inside joke with Steve Donahue. Anyway, she gives him oral sex, okay? Gets out as planned. She's looking around waiting. Her boyfriend's supposed to approach at this point, and then they're supposed to go off together and fulfill the rest of the fantasy. Well, he never shows up Now, this is before the days when everybody had a cell phone. She didn't have a cell phone with her, so she drove all the way home. She calls him, and she's pissed. She's like, what happened? Where were you? And this guy has no idea what she's talking about. So she realizes that the original call was not her boyfriend. It was probably the stranger she just gave a blowjob to. So I said, well, why didn't you recognize that it wasn't him on the phone? And she's like, well, I did. I asked him because he didn't sound like himself, but he said he was getting a cold. She said, and I just got over a cold. So that seemed reasonable to me, that maybe he just sounded different. She goes, I've only been with him a few months.
Cute.
Yeah. So she got totally duped. Is there a crime? She consented to do it. Feels like
under
there's
false pretenses.
Consensual sex. I mean, somebody lies about their name. That's false pretenses.
Yeah, but
there's no crime. There's no crime.
Shoot.
I don't believe so.
I gotta look it up.
What would the crime be? Think about it. It's not forcible rape, right? He didn't drug her. He just lied about who he was.
Well, okay. You meet somebody in a bar.
Yeah.
His name's Frank.
Yeah.
Frank takes you in the back room.
Yeah.
And you consent to have sex with Frank.
Yeah.
But then it's not Frank, and they switch it out, and some other guy has sex with you, and you think it's Frank, and you gave consent.
Oh
to
yeah,
Frank.
that's different, right? That's
Why is
different.
that
But
different?
she consented to have sex with a stranger. That's the difference.
Shoot.
If I consent to have sex with you and you replace you with someone else, no, I didn't consent that. Right? But she consented
I'm so glad
to
there's a district attorney's office because it's all, I don't know.
right? She consented to
here's
have
what
sex with a
happened.
stranger. She followed through with it. She just was tricked as to the motivation of why she was doing it. It was bizarre. I remember calling the sergeant, or getting on the radio and having the sergeant come over there, because I don't think we even had cell phones back then. And it was Steve Windish, and he shows up, and I remember the look on his face. I was telling him, like, you're not going to believe this, and I don't know what to do with it. And so he comes upstairs and sits down, and like, I can picture her living room and everything. And she tells the whole story. And he's like, just document it as best you can. And I think Sean Pierce was the one who actually got the case, because years later I was in like a group of people and I'm telling this story, and Sean was like, oh my gosh, that was mine. It came to him because he was up in ICAC or sexual assaults or whatever at the time. And yeah, he got the case, and he said he still had a copy of the report or something.
Well,
somewhere.
what happened with it? I mean, was it
Nothing.
disposition?
There's
Okay, there was
no,
nothing.
yeah, there was
Wow.
nothing. Yeah, just
Man.
closed. Just a really bizarre. So the other thing she said was the guy knew details.
Mm-hmm.
She said he was getting a cold. She goes, but he also knew about a trip that we were planning to France. He knew about a camera that I had just bought. And that, so she said, so because he knew about my relationship and those details, I figured it had to be him. Can you imagine? So
Oh,
this
sure,
guy was
garbage.
like probably listening to her phone calls. Or,
Oh yeah, the old cordless phones.
Yeah.
Remember people with cordless phones? You can monitor them with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you turn your cordless phone on and you hear your neighbor talking. And you're like,
right.
huh. How many
Yeah.
channels? Can we get some more channels over
Exactly.
here? Yeah,
So
that's
something
fun.
weird like that. And I felt really bad for her.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you got tricked. You got.
Yeah.
You got
It feels so violated.
It's like when you get tricked in a con.
Yeah.
Like when you lose money in South Africa.
Oh gosh. Have we told that story?
No.
So would you say, we've done a lot of traveling.
Yep.
Would you say that overall the world at large is more dangerous, that it's more dangerous to travel outside the United States, or the other way around, or is there no difference?
Oh, I think a better way to answer that is to say that it's not as bad as it's portrayed in the media and by people.
Yeah.
So would I'd rather land in Dallas than Bangkok? No, I mean, I don't care, because I'm not worried about the danger in Bangkok. I know there's danger in Bangkok, and I know but it's not. I mean, like, no,
It's a
not
big
as bad.
gritty city. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as bad as South Africa. Was not as bad, except for the animals.
The animals
was
were
not
terrifying.
as
Yeah.
bad as anything else.
No,
I'd
but we
flash
did
you
get.
But we did get done.
That
And we're
was
two
super
smart
interesting.
police officers. We got screwed.
Yeah, we did. That was very.
But that could happen anywhere.
That could happen
and
anywhere.
that does happen in a lot of places. There's different cons that people get conned into.
If that happened here, okay, so let's tell the story and then talk about like why I think it happened to us. So we were walking through through the financial district of Cape Town, and we were heading to
very nice area.
Yeah. And we had done a township tour earlier in the day, like where we had been to like the poorest of the poor township area. And so we came back and we are going to dinner. We're walking to, it was like a farmer's market type of thing that had an Indian food stall. So we are heading there and we get to a crosswalk, and there's a security guard in the crosswalk, and he's going to stop traffic or whatever he's going to do. And he asked where we were going. We told him, and he said, "Oh, do you have the tokens?" And we were like, "What tokens?" He said, "You can't, after 6 p.m., they don't take cash at the farmer's market. They will only take tokens." I said, "Well, where do we get the tokens?" And he points to an ATM. He's like, at the bank ATM, that's one of the choices you can get with your debit card. Well, I would never buy that here in the United States ever in a million years, right? Because I am familiar with how ATM cards work.
Well, you know the area, of course,
right?
But you don't know what's going on in South Africa.
So I was like,
let me interrupt just for a second, because even when I was younger, I didn't know it's South Africa. I wasn't picturing it in my mind. But that city is like the financial district in San Francisco. It's a really uppity, first class, fancy
Very
cars.
Nice.
Doormen, security people.
Yeah.
Okay. So
breweries and wine tasting and all of those things. And we were staying right on the harbor, which was really nice. So yeah, we're completely caught off guard because we don't know how the ATM system works or what countries do things in different ways.
And we didn't have phones with
coverage.
We
didn't have phones with coverage. Yeah, we were, back in those days, we didn't pay for the international coverage. We just did Wi-Fi. So we didn't have anyway. So we get to the ATM. There's a guy in front of us getting money out. And then we walk up. Turns out that guy's all part of the scam, right? He's just setting it up. What happened to us. So we walk up, and as soon as I put my card in, I put my PIN code, or you put your PIN code in, and you're seeing it.
No.
Oh, you didn't put it in.
This is all me, so I'll take over. So there's two females to our left using the ATM. There's an old man in front of us using the ATM. We're standing in line. The guy from across the street's nice enough to escort us over to show which ATM, because he said it's that one, not that one, it's this one. So I'm in line behind the old man. Old man steps aside. I don't notice what he's doing. I think he's left. And I know Kendra's behind me. And I put my ATM card in, and as soon as I put it in, my PIN number showed up on the screen.
Yeah.
I didn't put anything
in. That's right.
And that's when I said, uh-oh. Like, yes. something is happening or whatever. Right. And then it took my card, didn't it?
It kept your card.
It kept my card.
Yeah.
And it had my PIN number up there. And then I think I turned around and was like, there's something wrong. And then they stepped in to help us.
Right. And they were in security guard uniforms again.
Yes. There were more people show up, and they're like, oh, this happens. We can help you. You have to put another ATM card in to get that one out. Right?
So stupid that I'm so stupid because I was at that point.
Yeah, I thought I was like, no, we're leaving. And you're like, no, just get our ATM card out.
I'm so gullible.
So she puts the ATM card in.
And ate that one too.
And then everyone leaves. Poof.
But the good news is they were both for the same account. So it wasn't like they could...
Well, but they don't know that.
They don't know that, yeah.
In their mind, they created two different crimes, and we'll tell you exactly what happened with that ATM, and I don't know how it was rigged or how it was fixed, but it was a complete con with 8 different actors, and we just didn't see it because we were just trying to figure stuff out, and that's why we become more and more skeptical and jaded about everything in life. So we had to run to the nearest, safest area to use their phone, and it was a big credit union or bank or something.
It was a hotel.
It was a hotel
lobby. Mm-hmm.
We went to a hotel. We called the security number for our credit union, and we told them exactly what happened. They froze our account, and we got all our money back. But what happens with those scams is as soon as you put your ATM card in, it links to your account, it shows your PIN number, and it automatically withdraws the maximum amount that day at that ATM and puts it into another account.
Yeah.
So basically, it sucks that money out of that account, the max for that day. So, and then those days, thank God it was 300, but now you can get like
No, it was 600. It was 600.
Oh, it was 600.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably because it did it to both of our cards.
Okay, or it was because it was international or something.
Something.
But,
Yeah,
it takes the maximum amount of that account, and putting a second ATM card does the same thing again. So that whole scam, they just like they upsold us.
Yeah.
They upsold the con.
But the point we were making was, I remember being so embarrassed and blaming myself and blaming how stupid I was. We were just normal human beings walking through the world. Like sometimes your brain doesn't catch up as quickly, or you're not as suspicious as you should be. But it wasn't our fault that happened. But I remember feeling ashamed of like, I should have been better at that. I should have known better. I should have had better instincts. And I remember saying to you, this gives me really good insight on a very small scale of what sexual assault victims probably feel like, right? Of the shame and like how hard it is. I didn't want to tell anybody about that story. Mm-hmm. When we came back, I was like, let's not tell anybody about that, because I also didn't want to feed into the biases that people already have about traveling internationally or South Africa.
These were well-dressed actors.
It could happen here.
It was all well done.
You know, any big city, you have potential for those types of things, but I just didn't want anyone to know. It was kind of an interesting experience. Yeah. And I was thinking, gosh, I mean, there's some people living in real poverty there. Mm-hmm. So they need the money. I didn't harbor any ill will. I'm just like, they're just trying to hustle to get by. You know, they didn't threaten violence. Right? They didn't get, I mean, we were outnumbered by a lot. They could have been a lot more violent or whatever, and they weren't. So
if they had just said on the corner, I can help you with that, but instead I'm just going to take $600 from you guys. Like, I'm going to stab you unless you give me $600. Okay, here's my ATM card. ATM card. Don't worry about all that extra stuff you're going to do.
Yeah.
You got me, but here's $600.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to get back anyway.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
I wonder how many of those they get a day.
Oh, right.
And because there was no social media about that, I've never seen that scam again. I've never read about that happening to anybody.
And different countries have different scams. Right? I remember when we went to Bangkok, and we had the kids with us, and we were told about the jewelry. The jewelry, if you take a taxi, make sure that they have a certain timer thing in there or whatever. What's that thing called? A meter. And then don't let them take you to this like jewelry warehouse, because they do these heavy pressure sales for you to buy. And
they
jewelry.
won't take you. They'll basically kidnap you there.
Yeah. So we get in. And sure enough,
there was a meter.
There was a meter, and sure enough, he's like, "We're just gonna stop at this," and we were like, "Nope, stop the car right now." I think I was real bitchy to him, like, "Stop it right now," because we had the kids with us too. Yeah. I was like, "We're getting out," so we get out, and we're fucking nowhere, like some industrial area. We're trying to navigate to the bus.
And the kids did fine.
We all did fine.
Yeah,
but
did fine.
Yeah, I was like, "No, stop this car right now."
Yeah, it's too bad. And then, like, you know, Instagram now, there's all kinds of scams out there. Paris, Rome, everywhere that there's tourists.
Yep.
Pickpockets is easy, but I'm talking about you walked in my painting, you know, and then...
Right. Yeah.
The bottled water. There's all kinds of scams out there. But
desperation leads
just
people.
Be careful.
Yeah.
You know, don't be naive, and be careful, and be a little bit more skeptical than the average.
But Daniel...
I know.
Daniel, for those of you who don't know who Daniel is one of my partners at work, a friend of mine, and he works for an airline. Many of our listeners, our 4 listeners, will know him. And he travels all over, and he loves to go to like the dirtiest, poorest, most vibrant, most populated city, and just people watch and eat the food and, you know, have a drink or whatever. And I don't believe he's ever been the victim of anything. I think, where was he? He got a camera stolen years and years and years ago. But in all of these decades of traveling, I don't think he's been the victim of anything.
I think the same way that we used to identify people in a crowd and try to categorize them as a threat or not a threat, that kind of thing. I think that people stand out as marks and people don't. So 2 white people that are a little bit lost.
That's true.
A little bit lost, a little bit like us, you know, kind of
sure.
wayward and trusting looking. I wasn't like, you know, 360 on a swivel, like walking in the SWAT hands and stuff. We were just walking around enjoying it as tourists. So I think they can identify us and see that. Dan doesn't fall in the threat
That's
or
true.
victim.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He does have a look that...
And he's confident about where he is and what he's doing. So he's not lost in his phone or on the map. Or
Doesn't look vulnerable.
He doesn't look vulnerable. He just looks like he's in the moment, which is what locals probably look like. And people skip right over him.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, if he's stumbling down the alleyway with money hanging out of his pockets, that might be something else. But I think in a crowd, you got to pick your marks.
He's definitely stumbled down an alley. Come on, Daniel. You've stumbled down an alley or two, right? Third world countries. Shout out to my buddy Dan. Yeah. So that was my weirdest call for service or most memorable. I think about that call all the time. I wonder what that lady's up to. I wonder if she tells the story or if it was one of those, like, I got to keep this a secret for the rest of my life.
You know that saying of, like, you can't even make that up?
Right?
Like, we saw a lot of that at work all the time. Like, you couldn't make this up. I haven't read about this. The most bizarre things that happen to people accidentally or on purpose or cons or how are people falling for this or whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, you did what? Like, there's a lot of like, huh? What? What happened?
Explain that to me again.
Yeah. What do you mean this isn't your car, but you didn't like...
But I mean, so much fun, right? Like, fun and also not fun. Like, we aren't meant to see all of those things, but in the moment, you feel like you're part of this dramatic movie. You feel like, wow, I'm seeing behind this curtain of humanity that other people don't get to see, and it's fascinating. And I think certain personalities are more open to it. Like, I, growing up, loved stories about serial killers and, you know, people with multiple personalities, and, you know, the darker the better kind of when I was growing up. And so that behind the curtain view of everything fits with my personality. So I went into combat medic when I was in the military. I loved working in the emergency room at Highland Hospital because on my drill weekends, because I got to see all kinds of violence and weird medical things, and it was fascinating. So, there's a lot of that. Like, you did what? And then you kind of can't wait to tell somebody, like, can you believe what this person did? Like,
the gossip.
I
mean, I hate to call it gossip, but like, you can't wait to share your stories. Like,
for sure.
You will not believe what I saw at work today. And then sometimes, well, most of the time it's so bad you don't want to share it with your spouse, right?
Right.
You got to share it with somebody, and that's when your friends are, you know, those cops are reliving remember that time that guy drove through the house and... Yeah. It's so weird. Like, we have so much cool experiences in our brain.
But don't you think, I mean, there are some things that we've minimized for that reason, right? To kind of protect yourself. So, like, something that another person would be horrified by. Tina, my friend Tina, was telling me today that her ex-husband had called her to talk about a show he was watching with his girlfriend, and there was a child that was killed in this show, and he was really emotionally upset about it, like crying about it. And then he was called Tina to remind her about the time when she was really emotionally upset about a horse dying in a movie. And so she's telling me this story, and I started laughing, kind of, not at Ken, but at just at the idea that I don't have that level of empathy anymore. I have a lot of empathy for things and people, but when it comes to like graphic things, like horrible things that upset other people, I don't feel anything about that. So that's kind of sad.
That is sad. You burned all that out.
Yeah.
That is sad.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Oh, this episode brought to you by Django's itchy ears. You always call it slippity slappity when he shakes his head.
That's the noise that makes. And he does it 6 to 8 times. 6 or 8 times. It's always even.
Wait, is it 6 like full rotations? 1, 2? Like.
Well, if you slow it down in your head, it's.
That was a big one.
That was an 8. Yeah.
You can count that fast?
Well, yeah. Just play it back in your head. Do 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 do.
5, 6. I think you did an 8 on that one. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Django, do you want to be part of the podcast, buddy?
All right, let's get back at hand here. We've got our...
So the kids listened to our first podcast.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, guys. Okay, this is how far behind we are. Episode 14 right now. I just finally published episode 1 from August the 27th, mostly because I'm 52 and can't figure stuff out. If I want to add stuff to I take stuff away. Man, it was hard.
Yeah.
So today I went through the lion's share of all the work, published it, and then got terrible or loving feedback from the kids.
No, they were nice. What are you talking about? Don't say that, because then they won't.
I love it, but what are you guys talking about the whole time? Like,
they did not say that. It's so interesting. We will read the same message and interpret it totally differently. I was like, oh, that's all really good feedback and totally accurate. And you just saw it as criticism.
No, I don't see it as criticism. I see it fortifying what you and I are worried about. Like, what are we talking about? Like, who's going to listen to this?
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about this? And then the kids are like, we love it, but
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Like, you should probably have an outline. I agree. No, you're just relaying my own thoughts.
You should probably have some sort of
echoing my thoughts. No, all really good input, and we know, and hopefully it's improved between episode 1 and episode 14. That's 13 more episodes. Sometimes I think it goes great. Sometimes I think we just
we just talk about our chores.
Yeah, we try not to.
Try not to talk about our chores, for sure. Hey, do you ever think about me as a little kid?
No, only when I see pictures of you, but I've never imagined you as a little kid, like visualized you as a little kid.
It's so interesting. Earlier today, I was, I do it a lot. I visualize you as a little kid. I visualize you as a little kid.
That's the weirdest thing I've heard.
It's so often. Every day, at some point in the day, I visualize what you must have been like as a teenage boy or a little kid. And I was doing it. You came in, and I was doing it. And Janko, lay down, please. Sorry, my dog. And I was doing it. So then I thought, I wonder if he ever does that. And you were like, no.
Give me an example of what you're talking about, because
like you'll say something, and I'll hear your voice. And your voice sounds like this deep kind of man voice. And I picture what you were like as a kid developing into that voice. It's so weird. I don't know. Or like maybe I see the vulnerable kid inside of you. And I imagine where that began. Like when you are sweet or tender or touched by something, I'll see it. And then I picture you as a little kid. Huh. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Maybe it's I'm seeing who you are inside.
Inside of a little boy?
I mean, like, aren't we all little kids inside?
I want to be the main character from 300 inside. That's what I want to be.
I want you to be that on outside.
Oh! Damn.
I mean, right? Who wouldn't?
I know.
Who wouldn't?
All right.
You're having lunch tomorrow with an old friend?
I am. Yeah. Jimmy Hogue. Shout out to Jimmy. Hi. When he says hi to people, his fingers are as far apart as they can go. It's an open-handed hi.
Like he's gonna palm a basketball.
And you can palm a basketball with his hands are so far apart you could drive a bus through them. I have not seen him for a long time, and
maybe this is why.
Oh,
make fun of him.
We're fine. I could say he says that to me now. Hi. I'm looking forward. I'm going to see him tomorrow in Eugene for lunch. I'm going to spend an hour or more, whatever, hanging out and catching up.
How long's it been since you've seen or talked to him?
I saw him a couple times training in probably 2019, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
We used to work at San Jose, and he's retired.
Were you guys in the same academy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Eric Martin, too.
Yeah.
And Patrick Cumberford. You know, that group, that clique.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
I wonder if we're allowed to say people's names.
Oh, shiza.
What are they going to do? Fine us? Like, the FCC is going to come after us? But we should probably think about that. Maybe not say people's names.
All right. Jury, the thing we said about the person's names, go ahead and just forget about that.
Yeah. I wish we had like a Men in Black
red light.
A red light, but
let's be honest, no one's listening to this anyway. It doesn't matter. All right, everybody.
I know. I'm like the masses might be offended.
All right, we'll talk to everybody later. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
15.